Today, an indictment was unsealed, charging Donald J. Trump with conspiring to defraud the United States, conspiring to disenfranchise voters, and conspiring and attempting to obstruct an official proceeding.
So Jack Smith announcing Donald Trump has once again been indicted. He now faces charges including conspiracy to defraud the U.S., conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against the right of citizens.
And Stephen Maynard Caliendo from North Central College is joining us now with some reaction to all of this. Stephen, I know you've been looking over the indictment here. What are the things that jump out at you as the government tries to make its case against the former president?
That's right, Ray. I've given it a good read. 45 pages, but I did go to grad school, so I read pretty quickly, although I may have stayed up until 4 o'clock in the morning watching a particular soccer game last night. So I'm a little bleary-eyed, but what I can tell is that it's very thorough, it's detailed, and I think that a lot of what we suspected would be in there was there, but there's a lot more, too, some new information that we didn't have before, which is to be expected given the length of the investigation that the special prosecutor has been engaging in.
He has 6 co-conspirators mentioned in that indictment. Not by name, though. Who do you think they might be?
Well, I mean, you can imagine that some of those folks maybe are people like Eastman, the attorney, of course, who was helping to come up with the plan to have fake electors certified by certain states. Rudy Giuliani certainly could be one of them. It's difficult to know for sure. I would imagine that people, after looking into this a little bit and asking the right questions, will be able to figure out who those folks are. But it's pretty common to have those folks not named by name in the way the indictment's written.
Talk to me about what you foresee from witness testimony. One of those witnesses, the former vice president himself, Mike Pence, who will be making statements that Donald Trump did, in fact, attempt to coerce him into not certifying the election. What do you think that will do to the case as the government tries to prove it?
Well, we knew that the vice president had spoken to the special prosecutor. We don't know, of course, what was said. We still don't know exactly, but we're getting more information as we look through this indictment. One of the things I thought was interesting, Ray and Micah, was that there was contemporaneous notes taken by Mike Pence. I don't think we knew that before. We knew how Mike Pence felt. He's been very clear about how he felt that day and what he thought his duty was. But I don't know that we knew there were contemporaneous notes, and I'm sure those are very useful as this case moves forward. What's going to be interesting, of course, is Mike Pence, of course, is one of the people running against Donald Trump for the Republican nomination. And most of the candidates have been dancing around these indictments, but Mike Pence is right in the middle of this one. And so it's going to be very interesting as questions continue to arise as they move through the campaign trail, how Mike Pence decides to answer those questions.
One of the things that came out there, our colleague Ben Bradley pointed this out. There was a statement inside the indictment that says the vice president responded that he thought there was no constitutional basis for such authority and that it was improper. In response, Trump told the vice president, "You're too honest." That is a damning comment from the vice president.
It is, and there's a lot of that information. One of the things, as I was reading through the indictment, I was trying to decide, how are they going to defend this? How are they going to defend these sets of facts? Now, we've talked about this lots of times. To the voters, on the political part of it, the facts aren't going to matter that much. There's a good 35% of the public, no matter what happens, no matter what the facts are, they're going to support the former president. Probably about that same amount who wouldn't support him no matter what, no matter how much he might be exonerated. But the question is, all they've done so far is to say this is a witch hunt, this is election interference, throwing stones and name calling. But these are specific things. So they have to going to decide either I didn't do that, and many of which were done publicly, so they're not going to be able to have that, or if I did it, it wasn't illegal. It wasn't against the law. And so it's going to be really interesting to see. Now we have point by point how the legal team decides to refute these charges.
All right, Stephen Maynard Caliendo with North Central College. Thanks for being with us tonight.
It's good to see you both.
You too. And we're going to be staying with this all night long. Again, the former president indicted once again on 4 counts. We're going to have more analysis throughout the evening. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more right after the break.